Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dev Diary, where today we're continuing to work on a time-based, turn-based RPG roguelike. The last time we started work on the battle mechanics for our timing-based, turn-based RPG roguelike. And having never really done something like this before, the end results were a lot more coherent than expected. The player was able to attack via a timing-based system, and the enemies could attack in response. And today we'll be building on these systems by further fleshing them out. The first step was a modification to the attack system. The initial marker concept was expanded into an array to allow for multiple markers per attack. This required a bit of rewriting to have the code go through each mark via action key, and so only after each mark has been attempted will the attack end, thus avoiding any premature skipping from occurring. Next up was an addition of attack order, which would be based on speed value comparisons between player and enemies. So now when enemies are created, their reference numbers and speed are recorded and compared to the attack order list. The list is then presented in descending order of speeds. The player speed is then added and compared towards the end of their creation event. Then in the ticker, each time an attack ends, the order list is advanced. The system then switches to enemy or player attack code based on the reference IDs provided. This results in a Pokemon-style turn system where the fastest get attack priority, meaning players just may not be the first to attack every time. And finally came the thing that took an annoyingly long time to code, the inventory system. A DS list would handle our inventory data, with inventory-related variables providing navigation of said inventory. The first new function is an add item constructor. This provides data needed for each item added via a struct format. And for now, it simply contains things like type, amount, display name, and description. The next function is the add inventory function. This function first checks if an entry for the item already exists in the list. If it does, the amount provided via argument gets added to the existing entry. Else, a new entry is created via our add item constructor. Key press events for up and down navigation were added, and the action button events were updated. Using the action key on an item would remove one from said item's amount, and if the item is fully depleted, the entry is deleted from the list. And this is depicted via a crazy amount of draw code. First, a loop with offsets so only 9 items are on screen at a time. Then a second loop to display the amounts for said items. A vertical line is then drawn, followed by a column of space dedicated to item description to the right. And finally, if there are no items in the player's inventory, some text is displayed explaining such. The end result is a functional and very usable inventory system. However, as I'm noticing now while looking back at everything, it could be done better. Mostly due to the fact that the menu doesn't scroll. Instead, when it reaches the end of the first 9 entries, it skips to a new page instead of, simply scrolling everything via an offset. And honestly, that kind of sums up this session the best. A lot of good progress was made that could/should be improved on later. And while it doesn't seem like a lot was done this session, these were 3 unexpectedly large changes to the initial code. One was almost a complete rewrite of the battle system, a new list sorting system injected into the battle phases, which went through 2 rewrites after realizing arrays wouldn't be enough, and of course the inventory system, which again wasn't new but ended up taking a lot longer to put together than anticipated. A lot of the hangups this session were simply due to overthinking and overcomplicating things. Still, it was a good learning experience, and we'll be able to fix these problems later down the line. However, for now, this brings us to the end of today's Dev Diary. So if you enjoyed today's entry, consider leaving a like. Be sure to also subscribe and hit that bell if you haven't already, and let me know how you feel about today's progress. Are you enjoying the direction so far? Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.